From the DHS visit yesterday, I know your administration was part of this briefing. What did you learn from this, and how will that shape your trip down to the southern border? And if you can also just clarify, who's going to pay for that trip?
So, it's important that City Council engages with the leadership of the Biden administration. It's something that I, again, have demonstrated as an executive that I'm not holding the ball, right? And so what was emphasized was the importance of having better coordination. Now, of course, as I've expressed repeatedly, this particular dynamic has created an incredible amount of strain on the city, and we cannot do it alone. And I've said that repeatedly. As far as our next steps to do my job as mayor, whenever I leave the city of Chicago on behalf of the people of the city of Chicago, I'm doing my job, right? And so just know that the people of Chicago elected me to represent their interests, and and as we set the date for our assessment for our potential or likely border trip, all of that information will be made transparent. Just like when I've gone to Washington, D.C., when I've gone to Springfield, I'm doing my job. I don't know if we have time, Greg. I'm sorry.
Quickly, please.
Good afternoon, Mayor.
Good afternoon.
Yesterday, did Speaker Welch promise more migrant funding for Chicago during the veto session? And in general, do you think it's time the state starts looking at cuts elsewhere to provide more migrant grants to the city?
Well, what I've said repeatedly, that the shared sacrifice has to be equitably handled and addressed. And I've had this conversation with Speaker Welch, with the Senate President, with the governor, with the White House. I've had this conversation with our board president. All of us have to step in and lean in to have a shared sacrifice in this dynamic. Look, as I can't emphasize enough that I know that the strain that this has caused on our economy, and particularly within our black neighborhoods. Black people have had to share a lot and endure a lot. And that conversation that I had with the Speaker, the Senate President, the Governor, the Board President, the President of the United States, I'm constantly reminding them that the pressure that continues to be placed on the city of Chicago, and particularly Black Chicago, they have to help alleviate that. I'm sorry? I'm going to continue to have conversations to ensure that the sacrifices that are being made, that it is shared equitably.
Hi, Mayor. Sabrina from Channel 2.
Hey,
Nice.